This week we will do a design pattern review. So week A, we are on traversal. Okay, first string array list character. So we on these different data structure. These are similar but not the same. So there's a question on AP 2016, question 1. I don't repeat the same question because I have the video there. So here, what I would like to do is like try to give you the idea of what's behind the problem and what's the key point on the problem, and then we review on the design pattern. We care about pattern more. So first, in Java language, we have string, we have array of character, and in Java language, these two are not the same. String is different from array of characters. These two are not the same. Okay, but in C++, C actually character, array, or character, pointer, and the string are the same. And in fact, in C language, there is no data structure called string. And in C++, they allow both. So it's kind of migrating from, the whole migration is from C to C++ and then to Java. There's only array of characters and then pointers, and then move on to string and the both. And then eventually they end up to have these two things totally different. And there are some mechanisms that you can actually convert back and forth, but not very convenient in Java. Okay, but here, string is actually a special object. Okay, string is an object. So string has nothing to different from any object class. Except that it allows you to put a literal in there. Literal actually is the constant or data type we assign to a object, or sometimes we also call this as intern string. So where does we store intern string? You still remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, we install in heap, right? But other than that, it also has a address that pointing to there. This one is in constant pool.
Okay.
Right? So that one actually always in constant pool and keep the relationship there. So every time we assign such a same array, say we have a B, they all pointing to the same object. Remember that? Okay, and array of characters is different. Array of character is an array. And where does the array of characters store the data? It is also stored in the heap, right? And if this one is static, this variable will be stored in the custom pool as well. But if it is not static, it will be stored in the stack, okay? And here, for example, here, right here, I have a static string like this, and this one I'm declaring it in the data field area, but I actually call a function. It is allowed or not. Probably you seldom see something like this. Let me show you in the program, okay?
Okay.
So check this one conversion. Okay. This is the program. I have a string alphabet, and this one has intern string. I have another character array of characters, alpha, but here I put a function call. I call this function. And then put the alphabet in here. It is okay or not?
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, this one actually call this one, but when will this be called? When will this function be called? Usually we have the main function, right? We get started from here and run it. And this one actually is here. But nobody actually call it from the main function. Then when will this be called?
Will be called first.
At what time?
The beginning.
Before main function? Before main function or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be before main function. Why? You kind of guessing, right? But
no, because doesn't like. Well, I used to remember that does the constructor they like declare the variables and then the
but there is no constructor here.
There isn't. Okay. But doesn't it
There is no constructor here.
Okay. But wouldn't
it's all static function, static data. There's no constructor over here.
But like okay, I'm not sure. Yeah,
I'm trying to test your knowledge about Java. Anyway, it's okay. Don't worry.
Okay.
I mentioned before that a class is loaded. When class is loaded, the data field like static, they are all put into the static area, the method area. So there is a method area. There is every process thread. So when class is loaded, this whole thing being loaded into the thread area, the method area. I'm sorry, in the method area. So when the class is loaded, I even has not run. Before I even run the main function, this whole thing being loaded to the custom pool and the method area. And at that time, this static function already called this one. So this got called, and then they set up an array for this alpha. And at that time, new character, it would actually put that, the new character will put that character in the heap. There is a heap, and then my character array already been stored in here. But my reference variable actually stored in here. And then when my main function gets started, it will go to run it. But before that, that is when class is loaded. That actually this data already been set up. Same thing for this alphabet. It been loaded. But and this already set up. But for the constructor or whatever, constructor for whatever, it will wait until my main function start to run. It will wait until my main function start to run. And then my main function start to run, and somewhere here, no, nothing. But actually, for example, like this other one, this get character is run when I have this loaded the class. But here I have an alpha list, making the array list. That one will wait until my main function gets started, and that will actually run the function and then set up my alpha list. And that actually when my main function already started. And then if there is some object, it will wait until the object being constructed using the constructor call before actually I have the data constructed and put into the heap. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So the order of the execution is first. The order of the execution is first. You have your static part being loaded, and then you will call function if the static part has some function like this. That's the first one. I mean static part. Second part, we wait until the main function to run, right? The main function is also a static function. And third, will be wait until your instance, your class being called for the constructor. That will have your objects created, and then it will run the constructors. That is behind the main function, and main function behind the static function, static data setup. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's your order that it gets started. So right here, I show you this one. Actually, I compare the difference between string character array and then array list of strings. But in fact, this has three different setups. The number one I set up with the intent string. Number two, I set up with a static function. And these two are set up at when class is loaded. Okay, the last one, the array of string, it actually set up. It doesn't set up. It actually construct an object of the array list string type, but that did get instantiated by this get list after the main function started. So that one is the last one to be set up. But this one and the last one, this one, these two actually I both use a function to set up the data instead of using a constructor. There's no constructor. Both of them using a static function to set up. And inside the static setup, I call the new object, new constructor over here, and then set up with the data. Okay? Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
So here, when I set up this alphabet, actually I use the length of this, I get a string, and this string actually is this alphabet. And then each one I create the size, each one I assign the alphabet's i's character and assign to the array I. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay with this?
Mm-hmm.
And then the array list, similarly, I use this as substring I plus 1. This one actually is equivalent to this one. Both get a character, but the difference is this one is character, and this one is a string.
Yeah.
And these two are not the same, totally not the same. But in C language, in Python language, is the same.
Okay.
Not in Java. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this I set up different things, and then after that I perform. Okay, these two. Let me go back to my slides. So set up the three different data type. And this one is the string to array of characters. This one is string array of character to string. So when I have an array of character to string, I actually set up a string, and then each one I just append to it. But before I append to it a string, I convert it to this is what? This is actually a empty string. And what's the purpose of having an empty string over here?
Mm-hmm.
This one is a character, right?
Yeah.
And why I need an empty string over here? What does this do? An empty string plus a character. What does this do? An empty string plus a character A. Say, what
does it make it into a string?
Yes. You would. The end result will be this. Okay, so this is actually conversion from a character to a string. What else can I convert a character to a string? How can I? Is there another way I can convert this character to a string? There's another way I can new character, and I feed in this character in there. And then this whole thing start to string will be effectively the same. Is that okay? Sorry, I missed the parentheses. I should have a parenthesis over here, but this will be the same with this one. Okay, or there's another way to write this, not use the plus equal. I can also have my string equals string plus character. That would be fine because this one is what? This one is a string.
Oh, okay.
This one is also okay. Okay, so there are several ways. Here, I just exercise the idea of how to concatenate a character into a string. Okay, and this may not be so simple. You actually, the same structure can be used for different way. And then here, a string plus equals this. And this one is to perform reverse of a string. So why this would happen? Because I get my last one, and then I appended it. So my last one, say originally I have here, I have A, B, C, D, E. So first one I get from the last one. I get this one put into str. Second one, when my I decrease, I get this one and put it to here. Third one, I get this one and put it to here. And then B, and then A, right? But if I want to create a same string but same order instead of reverse, I should just use this one, 0 here, n minus 1, okay? That will give you that. But if I want to do another thing, I don't want to do like one by one. I would do this. I would like to do this. I started from A, B, C, D, E. I would like to do A, and then B, and then C, and then D, and then E. How can I achieve this?
I don't know.
Okay, if my question is this, how can I achieve this? It's not really that hard. Okay, first of all, we get started from 0 to n minus 1, right? That's no problem. And then we actually have A, B, C, D, E. So if in even case, so actually I mod 2 equals 0. In this case, it's like A, C, E, right? I should have a string 1 plus equals what? Plus equals the xi, and then else will give you the r function, right? R when the index is r, right? I should have a str2 equals xi plus str2. So my first one, is B, and the second one I got is D, so I put my D in front of it, right? And then at the end, return str1 plus str2. So put this thing to here to replace this one, and then put the return thing in here to replace this one. That will work. Is that okay? So basically, you pick the even one, index even one. You actually append that one to this str1. And then, okay, you can put an empty string over there plus, okay. Anyway, and then up one, you actually put that character before str2, like this. And then at the end, we sum up the even one in front, odd one at the back. And now I will create this, the one. So the first one, I have a over here, and then I put B. This is str2. This is str1, right? Next one, I have a C, I put it here. And the next one, I have a D, I put it here. This one, I have an E, I put it here. At the end, I concatenate these two. And I'll get the one I want.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So here, you know, the pattern is simple. Converting an array of characters is simple. But here, I'm trying to give you some idea of how can we use this pattern for different jobs. Okay, the next one is string to array list of strings. That's not hard. I get a string, and then each time I get a character and then add into a array list of strings. And in fact, this pattern is used in 2016 one, the one I talk about over here. The problem in 2016 used the concept over here, but it is in different format. Okay, so I actually try to modify it. It actually do this and then work on something about this, but that is not really hard. And then array list of string to string, and you basically similar to the array of characters to string. And actually right here, you can also play around for different tricks over here. Okay?
Yeah.
And then right here, I just do some exercise. Have the alphabet. This one's print this alphabet. You get this. Convert it to and then this one I have alpha. Alpha is actually the character array of characters. So that one actually I reverse it. I have the array of characters right here, and then the reversion of the of it. And then the next one I have this alpha list.
Mm-hmm.
Print it and then reverse of to string alpha list. So this one is actually a list. This one is the array of characters, and these two function. Okay, I have to show you the function in program. These two functions actually I have a reverse to string provided with a character array of characters, and this one is actually arrays of strings, and both I use the reversion structure, and then I reverse to a string. Is that okay? I use the reversion structure. So if I want the regular order, I put 0 here, that's minus 1. Okay. Same thing for this. This one is size and okay.
Yeah.
But these two, what are these two functions called? Same name, different parameter. What are these two called?
Overloading.
Yeah, this is to overload the function. Okay. So that's the first pattern we review right here. Second one is called difference of a sequence. Difference of a sequence is we have a common difference. We have a common difference. I'm sorry. We have a common difference. Okay. Okay, we have a common difference, and the common difference is the constant amount of change between numbers. These are called arithmetic sequence. So the common difference is 2. This one we call it arithmetic sequence. And I don't remember whether I told you or not, but in fact, the arithmetic sequence is like this. I have I equals 1, 2, 3 something, and then if I plot this, each one has difference of 2, different of 2. So end up this whole thing will be a line. And the number is like, I have a I, right? I have a I initially will be I times 2, right? Plus initial value will be 0, right? So when my I is 0, I get 0. When my I was 1, I get 2. So that's the function we have here, and that's the sequence we got here. So this actually is the 2i, and if you use the x, this actually is the 2x. So y equals 2x is the function for this arithmetic sequence. Is that okay? So with that in mind, that's the common difference, and now we look at the difference. What is the difference? Let's look at what is the, no, I'm not asking that. What is the difference? This one difference is 2, and we can have a formula like this in sequence. But what it really means actually is like this. Okay, we have a 1, so for example, this one is like 3 plus 4n. So n equals 1, I have 3, n equals 2, I have 7. So this one, this number 4, the difference, the common difference actually represent the slope of the line. Because I have 4, 7 over here, I have 3 over here. My I increased by 1. My y increased by 4.
Wait, so, instead of 3 plus 4n, wouldn't it be like 4n minus 1 then?
Yeah, it's the same. What's the difference?
Because at term 1, it would for t equals 3 plus 4n, 1 would be 7. But if you do t is equal to 4n minus 1, that'd be 3 at term 1. So that'd match up with the graph. Because this t equals 3 plus 4n doesn't match with the graph.
Yeah. It actually is this one. Yeah, okay. Forget about this one. Okay, that is this one. The answer is this one. This one is using 0. I mean, forget about this one. That's not my slides. I get it somewhere. But it actually is this one. You are talking about this one, right? That's fine. Anyway, what I want to show here is this I actually is delta x. So delta y divided by delta x give you slope. Yeah. So that's the slope is the common difference. Why I point out here it is slope. Why I pointing out here is the slope. What is the slope?
It's the vertical distance over the horizontal distance.
Yeah, other than that, what's the meaning of a slope? Slope also means the rate of change, right?
Okay, yeah.
How fast you change. So usually when there is a geometrical landscape or something, you actually use the slope to measure something. But that's not enough, okay? That's not done yet. And we also have the first difference, second difference, and third difference. If you have original sequence like this, you try to find its difference, that's called first difference. And then you try the second difference, that's the second difference. And then you try this third difference, that's the third difference. Third difference is compound. That means that the third difference itself is a linear function, right? It's linear. And third difference will tell you you work here quadratic sequence. And then if we have this second one, I'm sorry. If your third difference is a common difference, your second difference will be a linear function. Your first difference will be a quadratic sequence. And then your original sequence will be a cubic sequence. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say with this one. So it's actually in terms of the order will grow up. So here is also another linear function, but moving down. Okay, that's fine. So here I have a sequence n equals 1, n equals 2, n equals 3, n equals 4. And then if my first sequence is like this, my second sequence is common factor. So my first sequence actually is a linear arithmetic sequence. I have b plus this one, right? Actually a plus a times 2, right? So this is actually my say if this one is called, I'm sorry, if this one is my original a of I, this one let me call it d of I. So my d of I actually is like this, right? My d of I actually is like this.
Yeah.
And actually it actually increased. So my d of I, first d of I actually it is actually itself is a linear function. So my original t of n will actually be a quadratic function. Okay, it will be a quadratic function. So this I is like ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, that self is a quadratic function. And quadratic sequence like this. The reason why I pointed out here is that sometimes we will need that in terms of calculating something, and then you will need to know what's the purpose for that. So there is if there is a function trying to check whether it's strictly increasing, and you actually make the find its delta function, and delta function need to be greater than 1. That's strictly increasing. So actually, this actually means xi plus 1 minus x of I is always greater than 0. It's always greater. That means your next point always greater than current point. So that's the slope of change. And the slope always greater than 0. That's always positive. So that's strictly increasing. If it's just increasing but not strictly increasing, you can use a slope greater equals 0. That means you can have these, and then this, and then this, and then this. That's increasing but not strictly increasing. Okay? And it's also if your sequence is like you have like second order, third order, until you find a order, say you actually first order sequence, second order sequence, right? And the third order sequence, if your third order sequence is constant, common factor, then the next one is the first order, this one is second order, your original sequence AI is third order. Okay, we've talked about this. But if your function is like geometric sequence, then your original function is an exponential function. Okay, why is a geometrical function? That's because your A1 is A1, your A2 is actually A1 times R, your A3 will be A2 times A1 times R squared. Okay, so your function your function will be a r minus 1, r n I minus 1.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually a quadratic function. I mean, an exponential function.
Yeah.
Because it can be converted to this. E to the log r, this cell is a r, so
Mm-hmm.
to the power m I minus 1. Okay, so it's the geometric sequence itself is a exponential function. And also we can traverse through the whole thing and then compare for the maximum slope. Okay, so we set up the, so for example, we have some point, this one may be moving up and down, right? Moving up and down, and then we'll try to find out all these points, who has the maximum rise, right? And this one dropping, that's actually negative, but it doesn't matter. We just want to find the maximum rise. So initially we set the value to be minimum, okay? And then if the depth is less than or equal to 2, that means that you have only one element or no element. You just return 0 because my slope, that's no change. That's only one element or 0 element. It doesn't matter, right? And if not, then every time I find a delta function, and I told you this delta function is actually your slope. So you are comparing the slope and then try to find out the maximum slope. But remember, when you run this detection of slope, you starting from 0 and at n minus 1. Why? Because you have a0 to n minus 1. And then and this n minus 1 shouldn't be traversed. You need to start 1 before, because you have that 1 will calculate this minus that 1. If you down to n, it will go into n plus 1 will be n. Then it actually is indeed out of bound.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then you keep track of the slope. So this one is slope. You assign slope to maximum if that one is greater than current maximum. So by doing this, actually you found the maximum slope location. By doing this, you found the maximum slope location. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Minimum slope, you actually opposite way.
Yeah.
This one, I copied the wrong one. This one is actually, I should get the, this one is wrong, okay? I'm using this guy called Screen Hunter. It actually is free, so it can be downloaded from the internet. And I go back to my slides and pass it here, okay? So I will have that one over here. Sorry for this. That's a minimum slope. I don't want to spend more time. And this one is the maximum delta. And this one is different. This one is taking the absolute value. So what this really means is like, I don't care whether it's moving up or moving down. So I have a few points. This one, 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 this one. That is right.
Mm-hmm.
So I really care is like I want to detect the one that drop most or right most. Right? So each one will be like this.
Mm-hmm.
This one, no, this should be. This one should go to here. I'm sorry. Anyway, the one that actually has maximum difference is this one. It dropped in the most. So I need to take the absolute value. It's downward, but actually it has a minimum, maximum change. That's a maximum delta, but not slope. Okay, let's call the maximum delta. So actually, I set the maximum value to be the minimum integer, the mean value, and then each time I compare the absolute value of the slope. So either go up is fine, go down is also fine, but I want to have the maximum downward slope or downward or upward slope. I want to have the maximum value. Is that okay? The absolute value of that. But either you have dramatic rise, that's okay, or dramatic down is also okay. But I want to catch whichever has the maximum change. That's what we call maximum delta.
Okay.
It's okay. It's like Dow Jones, right?
Yeah.
Some day it rise 500 points, the other day it drops 600 points. But I don't care. I want to have one day that has maximum change of the day. So you give me like minus 1,000, that's fine. Plus 1,000, that's fine. That same thing, this one both change by 1,000 points. I want to get, sometimes I want to calculate the kind of a day. Is that okay? That's the maximum delta. So right here, I have my original data that is set up for single element, multiple element, strictly increasing sequence, and then non-sequence. So with that, I try to find out whether it's strictly increasing or not. Okay, and then whether this one is only one item, I consider that is a strictly increasing. And then I try to find the maximum slope, minimum slope, and the maximum delta. Okay, something like that. Mm-hmm. Okay. The key point is that you always need to check the boundary condition for this pattern. Avoid a null pointer or empty array. Okay. Yeah. Let me check the next one is find function. A different find function, and this one happened on AP 2017 Q3. Of course, I'm not using the same function name. Okay, so here you have find the first occurrence, find the nth occurrence without overlapping pattern, find the last occurrence without overlapping pattern, and find the nth occurrence with overlapping pattern, and find the last. This one should be last. Actually, I did not check whether this time. So first one is to find a certain pattern. This one is the same with the string that index of. Or you have the array. No, this one actually, if you have for string, is like the index of. But you basically call the index of, and then you find it, you return it. Okay. So this one has nothing special. I don't want to talk about it. The next one is find n. I want to find the pattern in my string, and then the nth time. So basically, this one is if I have a string, and I want to find AB, this is a pattern, and I want to find the nth occurrence of this. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I should do is that I originally set my parse. This function is called index of from the position. So first time I set to 0, I started from 0. And then every time after the search, say I got 0 over here. After my search, I update my parse to 1. So I started to search from here. From here to the end, I search again. So this one is called find the nth occurrence with overlapping structure. What is this for? This one actually is for For example, if I have somewhere in the middle, I have A, and I try to find the AA pattern. So the first time I will find this. But second one, I will find this. So first one, let's say I got 5. Second one, I will find 6. Third one, I will find 7. This is called overlapping find. Okay, this is overlapping find. But for non-overlapping find is, what is non-overlapping find? Non-overlapping find is that I have a same A. Then actually my first one I found this. After that I started from here, and I found the second one here, but I don't have a third occurrence. So this one I plus 1. After I finish this one, I start to search it on this one. So I plus 1. I advance it counted by 1 to search. Okay. And for the non-overlapping one, instead of plus 1, I plus what? I plus pattern.length.
Okay. So
actually, I have this A. I have this A. Right? After I found 2A, I advance my counter by 2. I'll go to here. Is that okay? But the basic pattern is the same. So this one with A is an overlapping one and non-overlapping one. So let's go back to this one. So initially I set my I equals -1 and my counter initially set to 0. So for counter itself, each time if I found a pattern, I increase by 1. Each time until my count equals n. Then I stop. That means that the end result of this I actually will be, the end result of this I will be my I's occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
And but if I break the loop and count is not n, because I finish everything, because I can no longer find a new pattern. In that case, my count not equal to n, I return -1 because I don't have that n occurrence. So this one is not. This one is no occurrence. You know, you may find it 1 time, 2 times, but if I am asking for 10 times, it doesn't have the 10th occurrence. Okay, and otherwise, each time I detect the I, and then at the end, I return the I if the loop break when count equals n. Okay, so this gives you a pattern for finding n, n occurrence. And here I'm using the string, but it can also be done by array or array list if you want to find n's occurrence for some data. For this non-overlapping one, the only difference is here. Okay, to find the last occurrence, that's the last one. So if you continue, the loop will break. When the loop break, you will got the last one, right? And then you return that. And if the loop never get into there, you will return -1 and then return. So this one is simple. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And here, if I modify to same thing, I modify to I plus, this will be non-overlapping structure. Okay, so here I give you the overlapping, non-overlapping, and then find n's and find last one and find first one. 5 different patterns. You have to study it. For anyway, here I have the I have some sentence, and then I try to. Here is only some index. I try to find the location of certain pattern. Okay, so my original sentence is like this one, ha ha ha, whatever. I'm a happy person is, okay? And here, just give you the index where they are, okay? So my first occurrence, I find your first occurrence, it will be here, okay? And then I find the non-overlapping, and then which 6 occurrence, or overlapping 6 occurrence. Overlapping 6 occurrence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It happens on 15, right? 15. Okay? And then I find the last one, whatever. I have is a pattern because in my program I converted to lowercase. Okay, so even though this have, it could end with VE, I still pick it. Okay, that's 52. Okay, so here if I have B, okay, then I try to find the first occurrence is by 0. Second occurrence, this one, say, how many occurrence? I'm sorry. I'm find the third occurrence. Third occurrence for this one, actually for overlapping one, I have the first occurrence over here, second occurrence over here, third occurrence over here. So it actually give you the 4 over here. But if it is overlapping, I finish the first one here. I finish the first one here. Second one is here. Third one is here. That give you 8. So overlapping and non-overlapping may find different location. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, next one, 2D traversal. That go game stone detection. Why is that? Okay, there's a problem set called crossword in 2016. I modified it, okay?
Okay.
And actually give you the dead stones selection. First, let's talk about go game, okay? Go game, your stone is alive if you still have some way you can escape, right? So here, we have 4 directions that you can escape. Are you okay with go game?
Yeah, I know how to play.
Okay. And each open space, we call it chi, right? It's like air. Okay. So some stone have one, this one we call it chi, right? Sometimes we call, or we call it air. In Chinese, it's chi. Okay. Here, we have 1, air, 2, 3 or 4. All of these are alive, but a stone is captured if there's no chi at all, no air, you can breathe at all. Okay, so in my game board, I have black as this, white as this, space as this, space empty one. Okay, so space empty one. So if a stone is dead, if it is surrounded by all other color, okay. So here I only detect a single dead stone. I don't detect like, okay, I don't detect something like I have a red here, red here, red here, red here, red here, red here. And then I have 2 blue inside here. I don't detect the 2 stone deaths, okay? I only detect a single dead stone. So if that single dead stone is surrounded by all other color stone, then it is dead. Or a stone on the side is dead if the 3, so if a stone is here and then 3 of them surrounded it, it is dead. If the stone is on the corner, then 2 stones surrounded it will be dead. And we don't detect the death of multiple occurrence. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is a simple, we just want to exercise the algorithm on the 2D detection. So let's do this. So generate a scheme map for the dead stones. If a stone game board is 9 by 9, and then our detector is dead, let's write a function called is dead to check whether like a stone at the R and C location, that is a row and column location on that game board, whether that stone is alive or not. Okay, so we need to generate a 9 by 9 game ball and then return if the stone is dead on the location R and C. So here, here I have a game ball, right? Game ball like this, okay? And then S is actually space.
Okay.
W is white, B is black, okay? And here I have a display function like this. So each time I actually, if I want to check like 6, 0, my row 6, and then column 0 is not dead, okay? It's alive, and then I exit it, okay? So the logic for is dead is if the stone itself is not as, if it is the stone itself is as, that means that place is empty. So the is dead will actually will be false, right? So it must be a solid stone, not an empty space. Second, the stone and any neighbor cannot be as, if the stone's neighbor is as that is free air, so it won't be dead, okay? And then the neighbor must not be the same stone. Your black stone cannot be any black on your side. Then otherwise, I consider single stone, that single stone is not there. If a side of the boundary and that side is considered surrounding status. If my ball actually, any of the side that I'm at, my stone is here, right? So this side on the boundary, this side on the boundary, I consider this side is actually blocked. Even it's on the boundary, I consider this side is surrounding status. Okay, with that in mind, so we have a logic like this. Okay, if I want to check a certain row and column stone on the board, so this actually initially I set my top. So I'm comparing this. I'm comparing my stone over here, right? And then I'm checking my neighbors, my top, my left, my right, and then my bottom, 4 location, right? Initially, I set everything to be false, right? And then the next one, my stone color I get from a gimbal, so I know my own stone color, right? Then is space. I check whether my current location is a space or not. So I check whether it's equal to space character or not. Okay, then I know whether my own location is a space or not. Okay, next one, if my right is equal, my row is equal 0, then my top is true. That means that I'm surrounded on top, but I'm on the boundary. My top side is actually blocked. Okay, same thing. My left side is blocked if this. My right side, my bottom is blocked if this. My lower right side is blocked if I have this. Okay, but check for different side if it's on side or on corner. Okay, otherwise I check my top would be logic like this. If my top is a space, then I'm not surrounded.
Yeah.
Or if my top one is a space, then I'm not surrounded. Or my color is not equal to myself. If I'm equal to myself, then I'm not surrounded.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, I can determine whether my top is blocking me or not. And then I use similar logic to determine top, left, bottom, right. And then at the end, I actually end the whole condition together to make sure if my top is true, that means that my top part is blocked. My bottom side is blocked, my left side is blocked, and my right side is blocked. Four sides I'm all blocked, and I'm determined my stone is dead. So here, as you can see, I try to come up with a logic condition with complicated and or whatever.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So the logic itself is not hard. it basically I calculate my top, whether my top is blocked or not. My bottom is blocked or not. Left is blocked or not. Right is blocked or not. And then I end them together. Okay, but my top one is blocked if I'm actually have a roof. Okay, I'm on the boundary. Okay, that's one case. Second is like my top part is not space, or my top part is not myself is not space, and my top part is not space. And then if I'm not space and if I'm not space and my top part is also not space,
Mm-hmm.
and my stone, my top part is actually not equal to myself, then actually I would determine my top part is blocked.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Then with that actually, okay, then let's go to the Java. So inside my Go game, I have the color setting, ball setting, display the ball is that the display the ball is actually I print out the top index, okay, and then at the beginning each time I type my right index, the side index, and then each time I print a stone, okay, and then actually initially I actually want to read in my corner R and C my I want to set up and I display my ball first, and then I want to read a row number and a column number, and then display whether my choice of the stone is actually alive or not. Okay, so let's run this Go game. Hey, this is so slow. Okay, so initially I set up my ball game like this. So if I want to check this one, 7-0, okay? I check my 7, and I have 0. So it's actually dead, okay?
Yeah.
And then I can check another one, because it's a while loop, so I can check another one. If I check another one, let me check this one, 6 and 7. It's blocked, okay? Let me try which one? Like this one, 1, 4. That's not, okay? So actually, if you continue to check this one, my program is okay. Okay?
Yeah.
Now here I need to type a 999 to get out. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Let's go back to the here. This one actually 999 is actually a so-called sentinel. So initially I set my down to be false. But whenever I read a 999, then I set my down to be true, and then I get out. If it is not 999, I'll go into there and then check if my stone is dead or not. Okay? Okay. Then let's go back to my slides. Okay, right here, my Go game. The next one actually is, I try to generate the so-called best map. Okay, here I told you I'm going to generate I try to generate a scan map for the best stone. So I have to scan the whole gimbal and find out what are the dead stones, okay? So actually I should traverse through the whole board. I'll traverse through the whole board. So here I have to get the death map, okay? So I get a integer metric. My gimbal is a string metric because I don't store those stone in, right? But my depth map is integer map. Okay, so each time I get a gimbal, and on the gimbal, actually, I detect if the gimbal, my certain location I and J, it actually is dead. But here I put the goal in there, and my class is called test goal. And I put a goal in here, and longer is dead for that I and J location. If this one is true, then I set my location ij to be 1. Otherwise, it will be 0. Why I need to put a GO over here? Usually, I call a function I do not need a GO. Why I need a GO over there?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's because I have a test GO. That's my class, right? That's this test map class. But I'm using the function from the other class, the Go class. I'm calling this step function. And that is a class function. When I use the class function, I need to use the class name. Are you okay with this?
No.
You need to call that class function. So this one is an example of calling the class function from another client class. So actually here you need to have the class name, but method name to call a static function from the other class. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And by doing that, actually I scan over and then I generate this test map. And then the test map is like this. I actually display my original game ball, and then I run the get test map and put in the game ball in there, and I generate this N. So I get something like this. So the blue one I detect to have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 here. Over here, okay, over here there are a lot of stone that are dead, okay, but intertwined, some black, some white there. That's okay because they may be competing for the fresh air, right? So I just want to indicate which stone actually are surrounded. In terms of Gobian rule, we don't enforce that. But here is a basic version, very simple version, not testing on the kinetic components, but testing only a single stone, whether it's alive or not. So the algorithm can be made more complicated to detect more kinetic elements. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
But this actually determine this one is surrounded by other people. This one is surrounded by other people. This one is surrounded by other people. Okay, but the reason why I detect this is only not to take out the stone, because later if you actually have, you need to check the competition, right? You know this one, right?
Yeah.
You actually, some of them you need to compete, and then you need to know how to resolve that situation. Okay, so the algorithm can be modified to be more complicated. And here I'm not writing the full program, but it has the basic part to detect that. That need to modify the algorithm much more. But something I still want to mention is the key point. Using Boolean variable to simplify the Boolean expression. And each Boolean variable, the name, you need to choose it so that you understand what it is. And also need to set the boundary condition wisely. You know, the term here I say wisely means what? Means when I check the boundary condition, I'm not going to check the boundary, but I use a top. If I detect the top, you know, instead of I running through the whole thing, here I just determine the logic, and I select the Boolean variable's name carefully, whether it's a space or not. Okay.
Okay.
Something like that. And instead of using the gold.rc, I use the stone color. Then either it's bright or black. It won't confuse me. Okay? As long as I have a different color, then I will pick it.
Yeah.
Okay? That's one thing. And also for this one, generation of the gold tester. Here I have this black as go.black. What's this?
It's like,
and here I have W of go.w. S I have go.s. My gimbal has go.gimbal. Okay, for something like this go.gimbal, I don't want to repeat my gimbal definition, right?
okay.
So this one is a tester.
Yeah.
So I get my data structure from Go class, right? So that's the meaning of this one. I have a Go class. So in my Go class, I have this gimbal, I have this black and white and space and gimbal. So in my tester class, I just get those data from that class. So I keep the same. Say if my gimbal right here I change. Here, for example, for some reason, I change this to black. Okay, I have a new stone. And my tester will see it. Right?
Yeah.
But my tester, I just want to test my token, but I don't want to create another data structure here to test. So if from here I change, that one will also change. So let me compile this one. And then run this, compile this one, and then run. Okay, here I have a black over here, right? But here I have a new stone, right? So that I just show you, that's how we can bring up the data from different class to another class. Okay, that's the use of the gold class, and also when we use that, we bring out the method as well. Okay, so this is an example of using the class static function in other function. Okay, bye now.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye now.